All right. Well, Art's famous intro music was always liked hearing that music come on. I knew we were in for a good show. Once you heard the cue of that music coming on in the middle of the night. So as this show uh, says here, we're going to be remembering Mr. Art Bell. Some of everybody here in chat, I appreciate you guys stopping in and checking it out. I got a guest coming on. Allison from Rhode Island is going to be Skyping in here in a little bit. I think she's got some interesting words to say about our art. And we're going to just kind of fondly go down a trip of memory lane of our memories of some of the greatest late night radio I think I've ever heard. Um, I wish I could play some stuff for you, but we'd get we'd get slapped down for that by the great corporation. Uh, Premier Radio Networks owns most of them. Or if you, well, here we got a caller now. Here's Allison from Rhode Island. Hello, right on cue. How are you? Well, you might want to speak up there.
I'm glad you're doing this show, and I was listening to the Friday show on the coast last night.
Right.
I'm an insider, and I'm not up in the middle of the night, and it was really touching. And they played the Area 51 flyover call,
Right.
which was
Great. One of the greatest.
it still has me on it's still, I don't know whether it was real or not.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter. Yeah, it was just amazing who he interviewed. He interviewed people like George Carlin and Leonard Nimoy.
Right.
And Gordon Lightfoot, he got on one night, and
Willie Nelson.
Nelson. I know it just wasn't about paranormal stuff. It was about
No, and you're right. And some of the better articles I've read after his passing, they throw that in, saying that he's interviewed many people. It wasn't just paranormal ghosts and goblins. So they did give him some good credit in some of the articles for sure.
Yeah, and he got Neil deGrasse Tyson to come on.
Right, Kaku and right.
And Michio Kaku was on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're really serious people. And yeah, it was pretty good. And I'm really grateful that we have such a legacy of shows. And I think that over time, he's just his legacy will eventually be seen for what it is by not just the fringe,
Right, and I mean he had so many good shows, and I think that he's has a lot of fans, but I think a lot of fans, of course, are aging out because there's nowhere with easy access anymore to listen to his older shows. That's one of the coolest things that I enjoyed when I was posting those shows,
Yeah,
or was when I was one of the people posting them, and was the younger people were going, "Wow, where do you know this is crazy stuff."
yeah.
Never heard this. People that were my age. Whoa! When I first, oh, we got a new subscriber. That's what that was about. Um, yeah, people my age, now, when I first experienced, I guess I was 20s,
Mhm.
something like that. And so anyway, I enjoyed turning younger people on to Mr. Bell. It's interesting.
So I just wanted to read something
Yeah, go ahead.
from so this comes from the 85th anniversary issue of Weird Tales, which started in 1923.
That was weird,
Weird,
weird tales, right?
and it's basically it started out as a pulp fiction magazine and just continued in that vein.
Oh, right.
And this was the 85th anniversary issue, which came out in 2008, and they did a segment what they called the 85 weirdest storytellers of the past 85 years. And among the people who made this list were luminaries such as David Bowie and Ray Bradbury and Jim Henson and Terry Gilliam
Wow.
and Frank Zappa and all these amazing people, H.P. Lovecraft, Gotti, Lynch, and Art Bell made the list,
That's excellent, as he should.
as he should have. And it's a lovely little thing that obviously he was still alive when this came out, and I just thought it would be a nice thing to read on the air because it's it's just a great little tribute to him.
Yeah, feel free to go for it. I'm sure listeners would love to hear it.
So Art Bell, 1945 dash, and he was still alive, obviously 2018. When Bell first broadcast paranormal talk radio on his syndicated radio show Coast to Coast, topics like UFO abductions and Bigfoot were thought the province largely of kooks who can't sleep at night. Bell proved the number of sleepless kooks in the United States reaches about 10 million on any given evening. Apparently, no one has done more to establish modern America's most prevalent myths, fantasies, and mysteries, from unexplained lights in the sky to shadow people lurking in our bedrooms. Bell has presided, shaman like, over a national campfire of the strange.
What a great article.
Yeah, just a little thing, and
Well, it was well written.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to share that, and um, it's great to see all of the tributes pouring in. They're all over Facebook. They've ended up on any number of lists that I'm on,
Right.
and I think it's great, and I'm glad we got so many years out of them with such quality classic shows. We got people like Mel Waters and Madman Markham
JC, we had the good old JC Collins.
and the Fidget Guy and
Right.
the Area 51 employee call-in show. I still listen to all the time.
Right.
So
Yeah, there's quite a few shows that I can listen to over and over and over. Of course,
and the
half of them I fall asleep through half of them, so I have to.
yeah, and the one that I still love too is the Flat Earth Debate.
Right, right.
That's just hysterical.
It is. It's
It's
almost
never
it's almost painful.
it's almost painful and it's never gonna get old.
That's right. Yeah, it's like it's funny. I just had the same sound problem. I had to restart the stream right before you called in. I had the same weird thing happen that happened last night, but I figured it out very quickly right before you called in. So I had to restart the stream, but we are live and we have a few people watching. So yeah, that was a very very cool article. I was as you were just sitting there talking about going through the stories. There's just not there's so many out there, so many shows that that's really hard to pick a clear favorite. It just have to be a giant basket of favorites, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Anyway, I wanted to share that, and I'm glad that we had him on the planet for as long as we did, and condolences go out to his family.
yeah.
So,
I think I'm going to see about getting Mr. Lear back on the show after a week or so. I didn't want to get with him too quick here, but see what.
oh, I mean, how could I forget John Lear? Love that man.
Yeah, I just, I didn't really want to. I was thinking about saying, "Hey, do you want to come on the show for remembering art?" And I just rather not do that. I'd rather just get him on the show and ask him a few questions about their shows together.
Yeah,
And yeah, so yeah, this is the show I didn't want to do,
yeah,
but I know most of the people here, well, probably everybody here was a fan or is a fan and will be a fan, and um, there's other ways of getting this stuff out to the public. So maybe we'll do something. Maybe I'll put some energy into that one of these days and put a giant catalog of everything I have out there
yeah. That'd be great.
and just let it go
Yeah, all
off
right.
into the future.
Yeah,
Time
yeah.
capsule of cool radio.
Let it go out in the universe,
That's right.
and then in about 100 light years, it'll make it to I don't know, wherever it's going
It'll make it to the guys that have already found the Tesla Roadster.
to.
They'll pick it up on the Roadster stereo.
Yep, yep. All right. Well, I'll let other people call in, but thanks for doing this show.
Well, thank you for being honored, and thank you for being a long-time listener and very very good guest of the show and friend of the show. So thank you. That was Allison from Rhode Island, and you have a good night, Allison.
You too, Rob. Thanks.
All right, good night. Bye bye. Oh, okay, okay. Sorry about the audio on that. She seemed very low, and I was trying to pull it up, but very. That was Allison from Rhode Island. She's a rare birth. A rare birth. She is a rare birth. I will say that, but she is also a rare books librarian. So she's a very interesting person, and once again, I appreciate her calling in. So yeah, there it is, folks. Art has passed away, and if you guys want to call in, Skype in at Wired Digital, one word. Skype on in or text some questions in. I think the last time I was on the air was a couple weeks ago. We were doing the play-by-play every time that Mad Mike Hughes would try to launch. We were covering that, doing quite a few live streams and updates. And since then, I think I kind of went quiet for a couple weeks. But you know, it's just a busy time of the year, and had a pet pass away, and I just didn't feel like doing a show until Art passed away, and I figured, well, I got to do something to remember Mr. Bell, because I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for him. This format, anyway, or any of this. I mean, if I wasn't doing weird stuff, I really wouldn't have any interest in doing any kind of other podcast or radio show or any kind of show. Maybe music, but I like the weird and wacky, wonderful stuff and stories of the great thinkers and great imaginers of our day. Art had all of those on. It was just amazing, an amazing amount of. Here's some of the old. I mean, look at these shows. So many shows. Hollow Earth, Hopi Prophecy, Halloween. The Ghost to Ghost were always my favorites as well. Reverse Speech, of course, John Oates. We always remembered him. Where the hear the reverse speech stuff, and of course we all remember the Amityville horror. I guess the first time you ever heard of lizard people was probably from the old Art Bell shows. The Reptilian Human Connection. And of course, the FBI, the UFOs, of course, with here's the big alien disclosure show with Richard Hoagland, Jim Morris, Stephen Greer, Edgar Mitchell, Stephen Bissett. Boy, a bunch of heavy hitters on one show on that one. The Shadow Government, PSYOPs, and Martial Law. Good old Contrail. Officer X. It was a good show. Ouija boards, with the boards that tell him there's some guy, Vince Davis, he would called in, and I remember the Ouija board would tell him what to do throughout his life, or in his day-to-day life. Harlot. Does anybody remember the show with it had Harlot, the satanic witch, on it? It's a pretty interesting show. The Entity. Story of an evil haunting. That was a movie, I believe, as well. Demonology, lots of that on there. Another Ghost to Ghost, weird and scary tales. Bunch of lovely thumbnails. Abduction, of course, alien abduction. Close Encounters, UFO Mysteries, UFO Phenomenon, UFO Sightings. And one of my favorite shows, Shadow Beings. Those are always kind of a scary show. Men in Black. All kinds of things. But, yep, that was Mr. Bell. He, it's rather sad. He did still have a young daughter. Huh. Anastasia, hello. Welcome in. How are you? So, there it is. The great Mr. Bell has passed away, and we're lucky to have such a huge, huge backlog of shows of his that we can enjoy for years to come. He will live on across the airwaves, across the ether, and Anastasia asks, "How are you?" "I am fine." And Anastasia says she is fine as well. Or so all is good at here. We are just not a very uplifting show since Art Bell passed away unexpectedly, and we knew he was ill, but I don't think anybody expected him to pass away at 72. I think it sounds like nothing for sure, but it might have been a cardiac event at home, or maybe he passed away in sleep, because he died in his home with his family. So I would say that's the way to go. A good death for what seemed to be a good person. I think that not know very much about his personal life, but as a fan of his show over the years, I really, he was good. He was the best at what he did. He was very much the best at the format he chose, which was genius to do, because it was nothing had been done like it in the past. Talking about lights in the skies and other phenomenon and theories and Some people might call people whack jobs that might believe in that kind of stuff, but to get it out there and have people call in late at night, fantastic idea. Great show, and really gave us many, many years of great content. Nothing else like it on the air when I first heard it, and I was a fan ever since, all the way till he retired for the final time in 2015. Those shows, if you listen to them on the Midnight on the Desert shows from 2015 when he came back, he sounded less enthusiastic, I think, and maybe a little bit more, less patient than he used to be with folks. And I thought it was interesting. He was just hearing the age in him, but so that is that. I really didn't want to get too deep into how he died, or because the jury's still out. It's always been a few days, so but I would think it was peacefully if he was at home, hopefully, and just felt like I needed to put up a show. I wish it was more in depth. I wish I could play the recordings that I have. I mean, some of the best stuff, but we'd get popped by YouTube pretty quick. For that, there's little tolerance anymore. They seem to have the AI cranked up in these days for copyright and just plain old uh, weirdness out here on the internet. So there's the show. Going to try to get Mr. Lear in a week or so and just kind of give him some room after Art's death. I didn't want to just chime in on him, and I had already planned to talk to him, so I'm going to give him a little bit of breathing room, and I'm sure people are probably asking him for interviews about Art, and I just didn't really want to do that, and I didn't want to make this some kind of, hit grabber. I didn't want to try to exploit anything out of this. I truly am saddened by the passing of Mr. Bell, but I'm glad he did it in a way that was seemed to be painless. So if we can all get close to that, I'd say we'd be doing pretty good. 72 years, pretty good run. Could have been more, but 72 is pretty good. And 72 years and 50 of it doing what you love, can't ask for better. So that being said, folks, I'm going to take us out tonight with a little bit of Art's outro or intro that he used to use, and that's going to be it for me tonight. And try to get some more live streams up here during the week, and we will try to keep the momentum going and find some interesting, weird things to talk about. Sorry, I feel like I'm about to fall asleep. Been a long Monday, but I wanted to get this out to you. So let's listen to a little bit of Art's favorite intro music.